Okay, so today we're going to be looking at an article by Digital Camera World, published by Usman Dawood. So what I'm going to do basically is just read off the article, and I'm just going to give my opinion on what they're doing, what they're talking about, and what I think about the cameras and stuff like that. So let's get started. The Sony A1 makes the Canon EOS R5 look like a bargain. Okay, the Sony A1 has a jaw-dropping cost of $6,499. But does this mean the Canon EOS R5 is a better value for the money? And so they're going to go on to cover this in the article. Sony has recently announced the Sony A1, an incredibly sped 8K camera that many consider to be revolutionary. However, while there's plenty about the Sony A1 to celebrate, there's one massive sticking point: the price. At almost $6,500, the Sony A1 is one of the most expensive mirrorless cameras currently on the market. In fact, it's more expensive than some high-end medium format cameras such as the Fujifilm GFX 100S. With this in mind, many photographers and videographers might actually find that the Canon EOS R5 offers far better value for the money. Meanwhile, the Canon EOS R5 can be bought for significantly less, with the current price hovering around $3,899. So basically, they're trying to discern if there is a reasonable difference in quality versus the price for these two 8K cameras. So we'll get to why it's such a big deal that this thing is almost $4,000, or sorry, almost $3,000 more for less than $3,000 more performance, that's for sure. Alright, so the Canon EOS R5 was actually underpriced. There were rumors going on before its actual release where they were talking about stuff like this. Um, so people actually decided that they liked the RF mounting stuff that Canon offers. Usually people use their the other mounting features, which are more common on most of their DSLR cameras. Um, so both of the cameras actually offer pretty similar features. They both have similar resolution for the sensor and video features, such as shooting RAW in 8K to 30 frames per second. Um, the biggest factor, though, is that the Sony camera is $2,600 more expensive, but as you'll see in the next picture I'm going to bring up here, the camera actually overheats. So there's been a lot of reports of this happening. It overheats at about 16 minutes of usage. Compared to the Canon, it doesn't at all. And also, people were bringing up points about the Sony actually not having 30 usable frames per second because its autofocusing feature, though Sony has really good autofocus, it's not as good as Canon's dual pixel autofocus, which is far more accurate and it's way faster. So you have cleaner, uh, less blurry, focused frames that have more detail in the on the subject that the camera's focusing on, and better bokeh in the background. So it just creates this better, smoother image. They also have better image stabilization, but that's one of those things that people like to argue about in the community. So, final thoughts, I would say that some of the problems with the Sony can be fixed with hardware updates on the newer um, production models that they can produce, and some things can be fixed with software updates, but as far as personal preference, I would probably go with the Canon since it's going to come ready out of the box with better features and $2,600 less. So that would be my personal choice.